agenda. Number 6 is the Earth Club presentation.
While these folks are getting set up here, just wanted to bring to your attention this question: how many amazing cross-curricular, critical thinking promoting, and STEAM integrating programs will actually earn the district money? Over $1,500 per year, $37,000 in net gain, and an ROI, a return on investment, of over 400%. That's nothing it's kind of appropriate that we're following the budget discussion. Got some amazing stuff for you today. And I wanted to introduce my dream team of Earth Club people here. I was on the agenda as presenting, but in the spirit of student-driven solar, the name of this project, it truly is the students who have put this all together. I have my few slides that I'm responsible for, but it's these guys. These kids are right here. We have Jensen Hua, our engineering wonderkind, Jason Israeloff, president of the Coding Club, Ziri Canella Morales, who's our graduating senior star and freshman at Cornell, Chelsea Stamen is our fundraising leader, Zoe Odueso is our honors physics student extraordinaire, and Brian Semrau, AP physics student, who's on top of the thousands that we're going to save you, he's going to add several thousand per year more to that. So we're real excited about our student-driven solar project, and I guess we'll just get started with it right now. Go ahead.
So an overview of what we hope to get accomplished through this presentation this evening. First, just to get everyone up to speed on the past, present, and future goals of our 20 kilowatts by 2020 project, and also to hopefully appeal to the Board of Education for whatever support we can work together to provide, whether it's not only if it's financial support, but also publicity, community support, also to continue the efforts of especially the operations department, and which is led by Mr. Stinson, which is here today. He's done a fantastic job, and we hope these efforts can continue, and any action we can take to help reduce our district's carbon emissions.
So who are we? We are Earth Club. Earth stands for environmentally aware, ready to help.
Okay, so to give you a little bit of background information, we began our solar aid journey back in 2011 when Earth Club was able to win a large grant from Michigan Renewable Schools program, and as a result, we were able to install a 3.44 kilowatt solar tracker. While being really great for the environment, this solar tracker acted as a prestigious selling point for the school district, as it made WBHS the owner of the largest solar tracker of any school in Michigan. Unfortunately for our school, we were surpassed by Northport Schools near Traverse City by their 7 kilowatt solar array in 2016. Interestingly enough, this tiny school district of only about 2,000 students, nearly a third of WBSD's size, was able to fund the entire project. Just one student alone was able to get a whopping $28,000 of funding from its Board of Education and Township. So as of January, we are no longer the leading school in solar energy. So it's time for West Bloomfield High School's Earth Club to step it up. Our mission is simple: to attain 20 kilowatts of solar. This project provides an ideal opportunity to integrate STEAM concepts across disciplines. In addition to that, by adding 20 kilowatts of solar power, WBSD would once again have the largest solar array of any public high school in Michigan. Lastly, it would be the only solar array acquired, designed, and installed by students. However, school pride is not our main concern.
So as many of us probably already know, right now human-caused climate change is taking big tolls on our environment, and these things will only get worse if we don't take any action. And especially under the current administration and the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accords, this shows that local communities and local districts like us will need to step up in order to fill this gap.
So the solution: young people, local communities, and educational organizations must step up to secure the sustainability of life on the Earth and the future of our education. Our goal is to 100% fully solar power the science departments in the West Bloomfield High School by 2020. The team, WBEF, they've already funded us and have incredibly supported us in our project. WBSD STEAM. Some of you may not know this, but Mr. Barkley, he has won the Michigan High School Science Teacher of the Year award last year and currently runs his home off solar energy, so he has extensive experience in this area. WBSD's STEAM program makes this a perfect environment for the cross-curricular collaborative project. Earth Club. We are a diverse, dedicated, and diligent team of over 30-plus students who are committed to do whatever is necessary to make our project a success. And the GLREA and Ecology Center, the Great Lakes Renewable Energy Association, and the Ecology Center have both signed on to our project and pledged $6,000 of monetary and in-kind support.
Because we're short on time today, we don't want to belabor too much, but we did want to say that we do have a plan for our entire project here. And what we've already completed is step one, which we've entitled Envisionment and Measurement. And we'll go into a little bit more detail. But first thing you have to do before you do any renewable energy project is do efficiency first. Much cheaper way to reduce your carbon emissions. And with support from the operations department, we're already looking into replacing our T8 fluorescent lighting with LEDs. We've done quite a bit of seed fundraising. We've done many, many presentations, or these students have, getting us over $20,000 so far in in-kind and financial support. Figure out how much energy our science department was actually using, and also determine how much solar energy is available around our school. Actually, some of the seed fundraising is first, and that's Chelsea.
We did many fundraisers, giving us a total of $55,250. We have many more fundraisers planned for the future.
And some of the grants that we are pursuing, I just submitted Thursday, was a $25,000 grant to the American Institute of Physics, and we've got a lot of these lined up, and we're going to keep seeking and getting grants until we have completely funded the project. Great part is that the students are actually assisting with the grant writing, and part of the big idea of this project is that the students will actually take part in every step of this thing. It's not just going to be a bunch of teachers and administrators doing all the work. It's going to be the students that are actually doing it. Some of the money that we've gained already, you can see that we have already got $20,000 pledged for this, and we've got groups as diverse as the WBEF. We got the Great Lakes Renewable Energy Association, Ecology Center, who have given us in-kind and financial support, as well as the MLB Energy Education Fund, getting us to $20,000. Now, what we're looking at is about a $75,000 project, so we still have a $55,000 shortfall, but this is called 20 kilowatts by 2020 because we're going to need some time to do this. Now, the next step in the process of step one was to actually try to figure out how much energy the science department was using, and that's where our honors physics classes come in.
So in each honors physics class, we split into groups to measure the energy use of each science class. And in order to do this, we plugged in a kilowatt meter into an electrical outlet, and then we inserted the plug of the device that we're measuring into the kilowatt meter. We measured the amount of power that the device used while the device was turned off, and then we turned on the device to determine how much power was used while the device was on. After that, we talked to teachers about how long they kept on their devices during the day. We then entered the data into a spreadsheet and calculated the amount of energy used by the class each day and over the course of the school year.
So after doing a whole lot of number crunching, which actually took us several days in class, we were able to get some summary spreadsheets, which we handed over to Brian Semra of the AP Physics class, who actually came up with some pretty amazing results, which are going to save you thousands of dollars. I'm just going to let him take it from here.
All right, so using this information, I'm going to show you how you can cut the electric bill while also making the school a better environment for both staff and students. So we analyzed the data from the honors physics students, and I found out that the overhead lights account for about 83% of the total energy use in science classrooms. But thankfully, there are some ways to reduce that. So some ways to cut the costs while improving the classrooms. We can first of all switch to LED lighting, which can cut energy use in that category by, with a very safe estimate of about 30%. By also using dimmable switches so teachers can control the classroom environment, and also improving the current wiring in the classroom, we can cut costs even further while making the classroom a better fit for a 21st century school.
One thing I'd like to point out is that some of our switching and wiring really makes zero sense because different contractors did different parts of the job. And to get a 21st century classroom, we need to really focus on 21st century lighting. For example, being able to turn off the lights in the lecture part of the classroom so you can have the lights on in the lab and vice versa instantly saves you 50% on lighting.
Yeah, and there wasn't a single room that we checked out where the lights worked intuitively. And there's even a switch in the science prep area that's duct taped over so no one touches it. So my suggestion to the district is that when the work is done to retrofit these lights, you get the right contractor to fix the wiring, not the cheapest one, so teachers can actually use their lights effectively and you don't end up with that mess. And using these methods of switching to LEDs and also using dimmable lights, I predict this will allow us to run these classrooms entirely off of the new solar array, as you can see by the graph there.
So on this graph, you can see right here, our current use is on the very left. That's our entire use. You can see almost all of it's the lighting. And just by using LED lighting, we get almost down to where the proposed solar array can power the whole thing. And with Brian's idea of dimmable and adjustable lighting for switches that turn on half the classroom, we can actually get that under the generation of the solar array.
And also, as an aside, we checked out concessions, did an audit, and we found out that at least $500 is wasted every year on these nearly empty coolers that are that aren't really in use out of season. If you were to pay a teacher like $50 just to defrost the freezer and unplug everything, you could save $450 right there.
Every year.
Every year. An additional $700 per year could be saved by switching to more energy-efficient coolers, which would pay for themselves in under 6 years.
Should listen to these kids. They know what they're talking about. So we have a 3-phase project in which we've already done the first phase. We have 3.44 kilowatts already installed. What we're proposing is an additional 10 kilowatts in the next couple of years, and then we see that phase 3 will be ideally integrated with all the new construction. We could actually have a solar roof put in for little to no incremental cost compared to the roof that's already going to be put up there.
A little bit more info about the installation aspect of this. So with the consulting support from the GLREA and the Ecology Center, we will have students planning to have students doing as much of the installation work as possible. Now, of course, we'll have to have an electrician do the parts that an electrician will have to do, but then we can also involve the community with a community action day, which we'll discuss in just a moment. But the bottom line is the more that we can involve the students in the community, the less the installations will cost. So another plus for the district.
How does this benefit West Bloomfield School District? Well, the addition of this 20 kilowatt solar array will attract media coverage and publicity, result in community involvement, act as a recruitment tool, implement STEAM aspects, reap environmental benefits, and result in financial savings. Considering the solar array will make West Bloomfield High School the owner of the largest solar array of any public high school in Michigan, we can expect a great deal of buzz. For example, our previous renewable energy projects attracted coverage from the Detroit Free Press, Fox News Detroit, Green America Magazine, the Oakland Press, and the WB Patch.
One of the most important parts of our project is the Community Action Day, in which we're going to have K-12 students, community members, and installers collaborate to bring knowledge up and the costs of this project down. This will give us an opportunity to get elementary schools, middle schools, and even prospective families involved. And we see this as a powerful recruiting tool for new students. And in fact, it will just take one new student who's really turned on by all the cool stuff that we're involving them in to actually pay for the entire project. Many teachers who are already involved in the project who have proposed various lessons that we could integrate. And the one that I wanted to highlight was the student-driven solar toolkit. We've been contracted by the Ecology Center to create a template, a model for other schools in Michigan to go solar. And part of what we need to set the template is a supportive board. So this is kind of why we're here talking to you today. We're going to keep track of everything that we do, make it into a toolkit that can be accessed easily by other teachers and students, and we're going to be the model of how you get student-led solar energy at your school. And the Ecology Center is going to help us disseminate that to schools statewide and regionally.
So STEAM has been a big part of the district already, and we'll be able to integrate every single part of the STEAM program into our project. So beginning with science, we can integrate the concepts that we've been learning this year, many of them, in physics and then into chemistry to figure out how much we're saving. So that's 2.5 pounds of CO2 for every kilowatt hour that we generate through the solar array. And what that translates into is over 30 tons of CO2 we're saving every year that once we get the solar array installed.
T stands for technology. Well, since I'm the co-president of the West Bloomfield High School Coding Club, our coders can create a website that will monitor the array data and post it online automatically in real time.
Yeah, and on to the engineering part, I've already led a group of other Earth Club members, and we went around the school to figure out potential locations and figure out which site will be the optimal location once we get the ground-mounted portion installed.
A stands for art. Here are some examples of some of the artwork going into our projects. For example, you could see a solar panel bracket designed by one of Mr. Millard's students and many other cool art projects.
M stands for mathematics. One of the benefits that may be of most interest to the school district is its ability to provide financial savings. So after running through the calculations, we were able to find that over the span of 25 years, the school district will be saving about $65,000. And although solar arrays are warranted for 25 years, they usually last much longer, so up to 40 or so.
So here is the bottom line here. And we set up some various levels of funding that you could consider. First level of funding to consider is zero. If you fund us with $0, that is certainly a possibility, but you're going to end up paying for 565,000 kilowatt hours, and even if the science department gets more efficient and doesn't use that, you're still going to have to pay for 565 megawatt hours of electricity and more for our school building. Now, for that amount of electricity, you're going to be paying $64,924. That, if you do nothing, that is still what you will be paying. That saves nothing. And, of course, the cost to us in terms of kilowatt hours, you'll be paying over the next 25 years 11.5 cents on average. And we've used very, very conservative estimates for that projection. So you're going to pay that anyway. Now, the question is, would you rather have that go to some amazing programming and make a net profit? If I'll just lead you to the final result, and it may look like a big number, but $27,500 is what we're asking. That will pay for all that electricity. You will have to have no additional cost over the next 25 years. That will save $37,000 over that in real money for the district over 25 years. And when you look at it per kilowatt hour, that is paying the cut rate of 5 cents per kilowatt hour, less than that, over the next 25 years to power the science department. That's nothing to sneeze at, and you can take a look at not only our calculations, but calculations that have been done by actual contractors, and this is what they gave me. This is just one of the offers we got. And because this is such an attractive project, we're going to involve the community. I haven't called one contractor. I just made a post on Facebook. I've already got contractors approaching me that want to be part of our project. And I came up with 12 years break-even point. They say, no, you're going to break even in 10 years. After that, it's all going to be profit. And this, a 30-year return on investment, will be 401%. In other words, for an investment of $27,500, you will gain $110,000 in savings for that. I'm just going to mention there's just so many benefits to students here. When I was applying for grants, one of the questions that the website I was looking at was asking me is, what 21st century skills are going to be involved in your project? And all of these are all part of it. This is real. We're doing something real. This is not just on paper. This is not a classroom model. This is reality. Our goal is to install a 20 kilowatt solar array and completely power the science department, WBHS rather.
Lastly, you may be asking yourself, why is it imperative that we act right now? Unfortunately, time is running out to keep the effects of climate change minimized. And in addition to that, we can integrate 5 to 10 kilowatts worth of solar, roofing, or Phase 3 on top of the gym annex during the new construction for little to no additional cost. By installing this 20 kilowatt solar array, it will keep WBSC on target with the Paris Climate Accord goals, which would be reducing carbon dioxide emissions by 28% by 2025. Lastly, Student-Driven Solar Toolkit will firmly establish WBSC as a leader in student-led renewable energy development.
Just to recap what we're asking from you, the $27,500 as a conditional matching grant, which we'll raise to match it in the future fundraising of the Earth Club. But just to give you a picture of what that means is it'll be paid back in the electricity generation of the solar array in less than 12 years. So after that, it'll just be profit. And the way we're asking for this donation is that the Earth Club will match 100% of it. So for every dollar, the Earth Club will also raise $1 to complement that. And on top of that, we'll add $15,000 in cash that we've already accrued over the course of the year through our fundraising activities. And in addition to that, the recruitment of one student from the Community Action Day, which we've talked about earlier, that by itself will have already paid for itself in the donation and in terms of the state fund for every student. And also, the robust support of the Board of Education will increase the chances of us getting outside grants, which we can put on top of the funding that we've already gotten. And also, we'd like for you to include the willingness to collaborate and mentor with students as a criteria when you're selecting contractors to perform upgrades around the school. And with that, we hope to optimize and support the energy use with these contractors by selecting contractors that support 21st century classroom energy systems, and using the input of the staff and students to select contractors that will do the best job and not necessarily just looking at the cheapest. Also, we'd like to have the continued support of these awesome WBSD STEAM-focused educational programs into the future. And 20 kilowatts by
In 2020. Together we can make it happen.
Before the board members comment, I think you can add another definition to the M. We'll call it marketing.
I was going to say they have to be moonlighting with deck. That was fabulous pitch.
I would like to thank Mr. Barkley and all the Earth Club students that are here and those that aren't. You made a very impressive presentation, and I think at this point it's board's purpose to discuss or react to this, and then we'll go from there. So.
I have to compliment you all. I'm in sales. That's what I do for a living. The way you presented it, you tied it to my needs, you closed it, you asked for the deal. That was phenomenal. Really, seriously. It was awesome. And your passion, and it was so insightful, and I learned from it. You kept it, dumbed down. I could follow it all. That was tremendous. Thank you so much for bringing that to the board. I am so impressed with all of you. Blows me away every time I hear our students speak in front of the board. You're articulate, you're intelligent, you're passionate. It's an awesome idea you're bringing to us, and thank you. Sincerely, thank you for bringing that to us. Is there any, no, nobody else? No. Okay. Christina?
First of all, grant writing, guys, seriously. I wrote a grant once with a teacher at Roosevelt, and I was ready to pull my hair out. It took so long. It took a lot of effort. It took a lot of information. And I'm an adult. That's amazing for you guys to do that. So really, kudos to you guys. Just out of curiosity, our current panels now that we have, I don't know, where are they in our building?
So right now we have a 3.44 kilowatt. It's a tracking array, which is outdoors, and it rotates around to follow the sun. And so that's just like a very small amount. It's only 3 kilowatts, but we're hoping that we can expand the array so we can power it.
I'm sorry, where was it located?
Yeah, right outside the school in the front. Right
by the tennis court.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see it every day.
I've missed it. I'm sorry. I guess my glasses weren't on today. I'm just so impressed because to see all these different cross-curricular groups coming together and actually working on one project and actually help the district down the road, you guys are amazing. I mean, president, vice president, I see it all here, right here. So congratulations, guys. Thank you.
Randy?
First off, could you send us your PowerPoint? Make sure that we're able to.
We've created a bit.ly for those at home, bit.ly/student-driven solar, and each word starts with a capital letter. And I also, this presentation at the very end also includes our promotional video. More cross-curricular. We got the video department helping us out as well, and a student directed and wrote and edited our promotional video, which follows this slide, but I urge you to check that on your own when there's more time.
But I remember in 2011 the great excitement with the first installation and how fantastic that was. And part of the fundraising was you did the bricks in there. So is there any thought to possibly expanding that, since that kind of get the community involved in it?
Absolutely. In fact, the contractor that I showed you that return on investment, they have a really interesting plan to actually deeply involve the community with a plan that anytime anyone ever gets solar on their house, as part of that, they can make a donation to the school that the company will match, and they will also have the opportunity to, just even if they just want to make a donation, have their donation acknowledged on the actual solar panel on some kind of a sign right at the solar panel. So individual people will be able to sponsor individual solar panels. So that's how we're looking at doing the similar idea as the pavers. on each solar panel they will have their name engraved or a sign honoring their family.
And lastly, you have always done things student-driven with real-life applications, and this is just, and even before we were a STEAM school, you have just always done this STEAM at its best, and this just tops everything.
Well, for me, what tops everything is this group of students right here, and they're just like the tip of the iceberg. The quality of students that we have doing this is amazing. This is their presentation. I had my few slides or whatever, but I could not have done it without these kids, so I'm very honored to be working with them.
Nick?
You are all amazing. And I just have a couple questions. You said, since we're getting a new roof anyways, just for a little bit more, we can get a roof that's solar. Can we look into that, Mr. Mull? Just putting it out there. Secondly, I'm a Mr. Barclay believer. Ever since I remember, you brought a bicycle into your classroom, and you pedal the bicycle, and you see how much pedaling you have to do to light up a regular light bulb. And then you put
all these kids have done.
And then you put an LED light bulb in there. That sold me on that. I went to LED light bulbs in my house. And I wanted to bring my wife to the classroom because I wanted her to see it, and I wanted to bring all my kids so they'd start turning the lights off. And then I'm not sure if this is true. Do you have a car that works on vegetable oil?
I did have a vegetable oil-powered car, but my vegetable oil source dried up when the school went from French fries to actual baked fries. So healthy for the students, so I was happy actually to lose it.
But I just want to tell you, when Mr. Barclay says something, I believe it. And
see, we never should have gone to baked fries.
Yeah, you know,
the real thing is always better.
It's just, I got to tell you, you should open up the classroom to the public. I'm going to come there. I learn something every time I go into your classroom. You guys are amazing. I love the way you give credit to the students, and the students deserve the credit. I give it, and so do you. I want to make sure that gets said.
Ken?
Who do I make the check out to? Man, you sold me, like Julie was saying. I was like, oh, what else? What else?
Tell them who to write the check out to.
Open it up.
It's to West Bloomfield High School with Earth Solar Project in the memo.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And it is funny you mentioned that because after we had written all the stuff, on Friday, an inspired parent gave us another $500, and the senior class gave us $300. So when people hear about this, they are pretty excited. We've got a long road to hoe with all our fundraising, but we are committed and we're going to do it no matter what. So it's happening.
And you're great, but the passion from the students—that's what really sells me, and and I'm sure everybody else, because you guys bring it. Just watching you and how passionate you are for this, it really gives me hope for the future, and that I won't be baking in the sun in about 20 years, sitting down on my deck or something. So keep it up. I'm so impressed by you guys, and again, I would love to come visit class too, Nick. So maybe I can revisit my science days. But I really look forward to seeing what you guys bring to the table in the next few years, and see. And I like what before you had said it was, I thought it'd be great if some of the Earth Club students could visit with some of the contractors that are going to be bidding on and implementing this, so they can hear from you, but also so you can learn from them about the process. And again, it's just building upon some of those STEAM concepts. So thanks again, guys.
Absolutely, we see it as a two-way street as well, because some of these, with some of the ideas that he had with the dimmable lighting, that could literally save us thousands of dollars. And a lot of these teachers are covering up their lighting because they want mood lighting or whatever. And why not implement that in a way that saves us money? And especially we could just cut out $1,000 a year if we just replaced all those empty coolers in the concession building, or just unplugged them for the 3 months they're not being used. That by itself would save us $500 every year. Thanks, Brian.
Stacy?
Oh, I have nothing new to add. I'm just really grateful that you guys came, and I'm proud of you. And we'll see what we can do as a board. And we support your endeavor.
Carol.
And same with me. Nothing really new to add, but thank you for this innovative project. I'm so excited to see this passion and this dedication to our school and our planet. That's phenomenal. You guys are all going to go a very long way. You've given us a lot of things to think about, and administration, obviously, as well, because they're the ones who have to figure out how to fund this. But I'm totally in support, so great job. Really great job.
Yes. We will pass it on to the administration, and we look forward to them reviewing all of the wonderful information that's been shared to the board today, and look forward to your recommendation.
So this is not an action item at this board meeting. We appreciate all the information, the enthusiasm, the excitement, a true demonstration of what STEAM is all about, collaboration is all about, and there are two people that will be heavily collaborating after the meeting, Dr. Fly and Mr. Mull, and they come from opposite spectrums in terms of their job responsibilities. So I'm going to watch that conversation with interest.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, you've given some great information for us, and if we could get the slides in other than the paper, that would be good, and we'll look at all the information that you have. And the board, we can come back with you. You don't have a meeting for the rest of the summer, but we can come back to you early fall and probably still be pretty close to the Earth Club's timeline with some kind of a recommendation. I know that if Dr. Fly is going to be looking at it from a curricular standpoint and what can be done along the STEAM front, Mr. Mull has all kinds of contacts and opportunities because of our successful bond, and a lot of contacts with engineers and contractors and that sort of thing, and that could be a really interesting dialogue and learning experience for you as well as for us and as well as for them. So we look forward to continuing it. And like I say, whenever I listen to a sales pitch the first time, the salesmen hate me because they say, I'm going to digest this and I'm going to take it in and we're going to get back to you. And then they try to close the deal again. But it wasn't an action item, but we will get back to you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And let us know about the Community Action Day. I know the board members would be interested.